Welcome to the German Embassy for this year's edition of the EU Open House, the virtual issue. You don't even have to stand in line. Please come in. Welcome.
My name is Sven and this is my colleague Niels. We're standing here in front of an original piece of the Berlin Wall right next to the German Embassy in Washington DC, and we're about to take you onto a virtual tour of our building. This is the Embassy's Grand Auditorium, where we also happen to have our last staff meeting already under social distancing conditions before we departed for home office.
But this is also a place for events and fun. Some of you might remember the carnival party that we had here in February. An interesting detail in the auditorium are the round floor tiles designed by Egon Eiermann, the embassy's architect. You will find the same tiles also in Berlin, in the Gedächtniskirche. Of course, we also take you to the hidden places of the embassy, like the basement, where you can also play ping pong.
Yeah! And here's another secret of the embassy, our shower room in the basement for those working out in the lunch breaks.
The embassy even has its own runners club. It's called Run DNV. This poster is a reminder of our year of German-American friendship last year. We had 2,500 events in 50 states.
Here we are in the largest meeting room of the embassy. It's named after Ambassador von Prittwitz, who's just behind me, and he retired from his position in 1933 after Hitler came to power.
So this is the office of the Deputy Head of Mission, Riklef Beutin. Hello, Riklef.
Hello, how are you? Come in.
What are you up to?
Well, you know, this is times of Corona, times of crisis, but it's also times of a lot of work for diplomats and for the German embassy. You know, it's less personal interaction, there's more phone calls, more virtual conferences, but a lot to talk about, because these times, I think, require more coordination, more cooperation, more compassion, helping those in need in our countries and around the world. And that's a lot of work for Germans, for Europeans, and for the whole world, frankly. Times of crisis and having to stay at home are also times where you should remember what are really important in your life. And one thing that's really important in my life next to my family is music. I love to have music around and I like to play it. And that's why I brought this for you, a bass guitar. I usually play in a jazz band and in a rock band, which I can't do right now, but I can practice. And I sometimes get around to do it. A little more even now in times of crisis than normally.
Well, today is Europe Day. Maybe you can show us a little bit of your art today?
Art, I don't know, but I can. And we should remember that this year is also the 250th birthday of Beethoven that we were about to celebrate. We may not be able to celebrate it the same way that we wanted to, but we should remember it nonetheless. And Beethoven actually, of course, composed the Ode to Joy, which is also the anthem, if you will, of Europe. So I'll try that for you.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Europe!
And this building houses the embassy's cafeteria, which also has a beautiful terrace where once we are back in office we can again enjoy our lunch meals in sunshine.
Do you know this guy? Of course, it's Baron von Stuben, and each year we have the famous Stuben Parade in New York. The embassy also participates with an own float.
Hi, my name is Steffen, and I'm going to take over part of the tour as we visit the ambassador in her residence. Let's go. Oh, hello, Ambassador Haber. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Welcome to this solitary residence in these Corona days. Won't you come in and have a look? An Uber driver asked me the other day whether this was a museum, and I said to him, a museum with a very solitary living exhibit, which is me.
So this is the big hall.
Yes, normally it would be full of people and with flowers everywhere and a very lively environment.
So what usually happens in a residence as opposed to an embassy? What does the ambassador do here?
I meet people, lots of people. We have invitations, dinners, cocktail parties. I meet people for coffee. There's a lot of conversation going on. We have concerts. We have operas even in the residence, because you will see it's a huge place. It's a place that is designed for people to meet. It's beautiful. Have a look at the art. This is called the Parseval sequel. It's by a famous German artist called Lüpertz. And it was selected by the artist to fit entirely into the art of the residence, that is the art of the architecture. You can see that the architect was enamored with squares. You see squares everywhere. Here you've got the living room, where I can place actually up to 100 people. And here again you would see flowers and candles and wonderfully prepared tables, and in addition to that, actually magnificent food. It is for a reason I haven't discovered as yet called the ladies' room. It's the only room where you don't only see squares but also circles. And it was designed in a day when apparently differences between ladies and gentlemen rooms were still permissible, which I think is not the case anymore. Now this is what the architect called the gentleman's room. I haven't, again, yet figured out what the reason was. And the paintings on all sides are to reflect the different seasons of the year. Spring, autumn, summer, and winter over there. Someone once said to me that this was the Chancellor's preferred room. I don't know whether this is true, but this is what the legend says.
So this is the staircase to the famous Berlin bar of the residence in the basement. Let's go downstairs and ask Ambassador Haber what's going on there in the Berlin bar. Ambassador Haber, what's going on down here?
We organize all sorts of events here. Sometimes we have book discussions, book presentations. Sometimes we just have meetings. We've had films here. We even once had a jazz concert here. Many people like the Berlin bar, not only because of the beer that is being offered here, we have soft drinks too, but because it has such a specific Berlin atmosphere with all the pictures on the wall too.
But thank you so much for showing us around this beautiful place. And let's hope that sometime soon you will be able to open it up again for a lot of visitors.
I hope so. And I do hope that I'll see you next year in person in this residence.
I hope you enjoyed seeing the inside of the residence. And now, back to my colleagues Niels and Sven.
So this is the residence. On a regular EU open house, you wouldn't see any green here. It would be crowded with people.
Can you spot the famous guest from Berlin in the Ambassador's Garden? Of course, it's a beautiful Berlin buddy bear right here beneath beautiful flowers on the spring day.
Okay, folks,
we hope you enjoyed this little tour through the embassy. See you for the real EU open house very soon. Bye bye.
Bye.